everybody. Welcome back to the Damn Yankees podcast. My name is produced by Seven Ashes Productions. Sorry. My name is Megan. That's my brother Ryan, and over there is our baseball dummy Cliff.
Hi.
It's late for us. I'm tired.
Yes.
The Yankees
so
just
if we
lost.
make errors, please forgive us because we're tired and frustrated. But
yes, we are coming off of the Yankees,
and I get to hear it.
You do get to hear it because the Yankees
twice even.
Yeah. They played against the Orioles and lost the series 2-1, unfortunately. So, moods could be better, but we've been more depressed. So somewhere in the middle.
It's not going to be as happy as the previous couple casts, but you play the second best team in the league. It's
going to be tough. So
it's going to be tough. So, we want to win the series. We want to win against division rivals, but at least we didn't get swept, I guess. I mean, it's a 3-game series. Someone has to win the series. And if we were playing against a team that wasn't as good, like have as good of a record, or hasn't been as good as we've been playing recently, then I can understand. But even the Orioles still have like one of the best last 10 games as the Yankees have had. So it's not like we were playing some team that couldn't play. Like the Orioles are legit.
They are.
So
they can hit. They string together hits and find ways to score runs. And
and they're never out of games.
Exactly.
Out of games. They play until the final out, which is something I wish the Yankees would do. I feel like they can give up on games pretty early.
Or they don't show up the entire game, and then in the 9th, then they decide to show up. There's been a few
just
times,
like they did,
like kind of tonight, but some other games
previous other games.
Bigger example of that, of like dead, no hits, and then bases loaded in the 9th. Let's score a couple of runs. Just kidding, we fall short. That's happened. That's also frustrating. So this series, the first game, they were down 5-1. The Yankees came back and won it. Would they win it 6-5? Right, that was the Volpe got a sac fly.
Fly walk off.
Judge tied it.
First walk off of the career.
Yeah, Volpe gets his first walk off, and so that was a fun game. All the pictures after the game with like Volpe jumping into Rizzo's arms and Judge being around, and then Nestor with the gum in the air. It was fun. That was a fun game. The following game, less fun. It was super fun in the beginning. The Yankees were up.
It was almost the opposite.
It was basically the opposite. The Yankees were up 6-0. What was it? I don't remember. It was like 6 or 7-0. Then they came back.
They were up 5-1.
They were up 5-1.
They were up 5-1, and then
so that was the Nestor game. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nestor
and then
get out of it.
Yeah, Nestor's thrown a really good game up until through the 6th, and I know people gave Boone shit for putting Nestor back out there, but because the last several games he's shown that he can't, third time through the order, he's really awful. So that's definitely a stat, absolutely. No, but
I think he's got over a 14.0 ERA in the third time through the lineup.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. So fair enough. But through the 6th inning, he's
looking good, and you want him to start pitching well during that time.
Right.
So why would you take him out? Let him figure out that third time.
Yeah, so he looked like, okay, this is better. This is the Nestor, looking more like Nestor of last year. Why wouldn't you send him out for the 7th inning with under 80 pitches under his belt? He just struck out Mullins and Mountcastle the inning before, 2 of the Orioles' best hitters. So why wouldn't he go back out in the 7th? I don't blame Boone for doing that. I mean, maybe you argue
and we
you
blame
pull
Boone
him.
for a lot of things.
We do. I mean, maybe you argue that you pull him a batter early, but that I feel is hindsight. I don't know.
I mean, you can't predict exactly how the inning is going to go.
No.
Maybe he shouldn't have gone through 4 batters or 3 batters, whatever it was.
It was 3.
Like you said,
yeah.
Like a shorter leash. But I mean, I feel like 3 batters is not a ton.
No, I thought that he kind of pulled him sooner than maybe a couple of weeks ago, pulling. I can't remember the specific example,
Cole.
but maybe it was Cole, and like I feel like when I was watching, I was like, oh wow, he's actually pulling it. Like I know he just hit a home run, and the score was now 5-4 at that point. So yeah, he should pull him. That's kind of a no-brainer, but I feel like in the past he would have kept him in because we still had the lead, and he would have just let's try to squeeze out some more innings or outs from him. So
yeah, and
I don't know.
It's not like he put out I know Albert Abreu came in the next inning, but it's not like he put him in that position. He puts out, or he did come in that inning. But that's only because Cordero comes in and he can't get an out.
Yeah, he couldn't get out.
And that's not on Boone. Cordero's been good this season.
Yeah, Cordero was just, shoving the game before that he pitched. He did the opener game and he was amazing. And so, yeah, that seems like a good choice to go to stop the bleeding. And he did not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he gets Cortez out before the game. I mean, obviously the game is now close, but the game's not. We're not losing yet. Still have the lead.
Yeah.
Cordero comes out. He just needs to get the 3 outs that Cortez couldn't, and he gets 1 out and adds another 4 runs in that inning. So, yeah, not really on Boone. There's nothing much you can do when the pitchers just have a really bad inning in the.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
in the 7th.
If you want to blame anybody, blame Domingo Germán. Like, he's the reason our bullpen is so taxed right now. He's the reason we're having to do bullpen, or what are they called? Oh my God, it is late. I can't think. Bullpen days where you have you have a bullpen starter. You don't have a true starter. You use like multiple people from your bullpen to patch together the game. They've
speaking
called
of
up
tomorrow, we have Randy Vasquez starting tomorrow.
Yeah, so major league debut for him. That's exciting. He was in the dugout. Apparently, it was his first Major League Baseball game he's ever seen live. That's what they were saying on the broadcast today. I was like, ever?
Like as a player or
no, ever.
Wow.
Yeah, first major league. I mean, obviously he's seen plenty of minor league games. He played in them, but first major league game that he had ever seen live. And he's watching it from the Yankee dugout.
Is he foreign born? Like just never been over in the States for?
Possibly. I've never really heard. Like I hadn't heard of him until they said he was getting called up. To be honest, I guess he's our number 12th prospect, number 3 pitching prospect.
I've heard of him only because of going through the
I know you
prospect list.
Yeah.
He's not been bad this season, though I have not checked it in the last week.
Yeah.
To know what, but
Riddle's
struggling. Germán's not able to be used, so get someone new in.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe could have the Brito effect from his first couple of games where people didn't know what to expect from him, and so you get an awesome shutout game for your first game pitching. So we'll see. But yeah, Germán has put the Yankees into a bad position.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Our cat has decided to come out and serenade us. All right. Awesome.
I can get Pumpkin over here to
carry on
if you want.
Right? Start a choir. So anyway, Germán's put us in a bad position, having to use the bullpen a lot more than we needed to. So, Boone doesn't really have many choices. Boone's managerial decisions are never that great. So when you give him not a whole lot to work with, I'm not sure you can really find fault with him. Today he pinch hit Bowers he took out Rortvedt and pinch hit Bowers in his place. They're both left-handed hitters. I didn't understand that move. Like, I'm sure there was some analytic stat that said Bowers was better against whoever was pitching at the time. Yeah. Which I don't really understand. It was like, They're like, and I guess since brought up Rortvet, I don't understand how they're treating, like what they're doing with him either. Like last pod we talked about, I thought they were going to give him, like they were going to give him more games so that we could see how he was, compare him a bit to Higgy. Like we know what Higgy's got, we've seen him, so let's compare him to Rortvet. But they haven't released. This was only the second game he's played, so.
And I can like almost understood it during the Cortez game because Higgy and Cole are good to keep together.
Yeah, Cole likes Higgy.
And maybe they're thinking that in the same with Cortez, but you're playing a righty on the mound. You know, it's not like Cortez is the ace, like the ace type that he was last year. So I feel like he doesn't have as much of a priority to be able to call his catcher.
Which, yeah.
And when you have a righty on the mound for the Orioles, we should be putting in the lefty Rortvet because we know Higgy can't hit righties. I think I looked at I think Morty from Yankees Twitter put it out there, and then I looked it up to confirm. He did not show the name, so I was looking, but it was Higgy. He is in the bottom percentile of framing, exit velocity, and blocking.
Oh, yeah, he had a pretty bad like pass ball yesterday, right? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like it didn't bounce. It wasn't like a weird pitch. It was just he didn't catch it.
Yeah.
It's like what are we doing, Gary?
I just don't understand why we are not giving Rortvet more opportunity, especially when you have Trevino on the IL.
Yeah,
it's
like
a perfect
why not?
opportunity of like, hey, it's a tryout. And if Higgy's better,
Higgy's better.
But
yeah. I mean, I feel like because of the way they're treating Rortvet, that they have no intention in keeping him up, and they're going to send him back down when Trevino's back off the IL. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they're interested in replacing Higgy with Rortvet, which I don't know. I mean, yeah, it is weird. Thought he'd have more of an impact, but yeah, he did play today, and he didn't really hit, but nobody hit today. So it was like we had 3 hits.
Did not play today. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh
Three hits.
We only had 3 hits, so offense really struggled, and this game was definitely the Orioles' game, even though it was like 1-0 most of the game.
Nothing for most of the game, but it was just obvious that we weren't hitting.
Yeah. I guess the
Gibson
bright
today was really good.
He really
against
was.
us. So
I think the bright light is that Schmidt was really good. I mean, he went through
in the games that Schmidt's been good. We just can't hit.
Yeah, it's like turned into
Jordan
Monty,
Montgomery,
right? Yeah. That sucks for Schmidt, you know. But yeah, how far did he go today? He went through
5 innings.
5, yeah. I think
5
they
innings,
threw him out there in the
4
6th.
strikeouts,
but,
1 earned run.
Yeah, so solid. It was good outing from Schmidt. Wouldn't want more outings like that, but ones where the offense actually remembers how to hit the ball, because like you said, they were definitely shut down by the Orioles pitching. Didn't get shut out in the 9th. They actually scored. Willie came through, and we got Judge in to score a run, but that was all they got. So kind of a boring
not the game
today,
that you want.
Yeah,
as our former manager would say, it's not what you want.
Not what you want. So we've got a few.
Speaking of our former manager, this is kind of random, and I know getting close to the time here, but Joe Girardi, did you see his comments on
about Gary?
Gary,
yeah,
he basically insinuated how fat and slow he is.
Yeah, because they were saying like he was the fastest.
He's like
to
the
hit
fastest to 100 home runs.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, so the first guy goes, I think he's the fastest to 100 home runs. And the next guy's like, he's the fastest to something.
Something.
And Joe Girardi's like, well, he's definitely not the fastest to first base. And then I think one of the other guys comes back and he says, but he is the fastest to the hot dog stand. I
missed that part.
That Yeah, that one was like kind of thrown in there at the like everybody's talking about Joey G's comment.
Yeah.
But that one was thrown
That's
right in at the end.
I guess the clip I saw ended with Joe G's comment. And I was just like, ooh, shit. And it was kind of like, well, that's why Joe G lost the job.
It's been really well talked that the way he communicated with the players in the locker room, he lost the locker room.
Yeah, he lost the locker room.
Which is kind of what happened with the Phillies.
Oh, so there must be a thing there with him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always the thing they say about
plus on Boone.
Yeah,
he's a player's guy. Like the players play for him.
Yeah. He was ejected again today, and that is officially 4. You were right last week when you were saying
officially 4.
Yeah, you said 3 last week.
3.
And Boone was, not to go off on a tangent, sorry, but Boone was on Talking Yanks, and they asked him about the ejections, and at that time it had been the 3rd of the season, and he said that he doesn't like getting ejected, that he wants to do that less often, and it was like 2 days later, in the second inning. But I mean, this one definitely warranted. This umpire was absolutely awful, giving outside strikes to, calling balls for, giving outside strikes that are not strikes to the Orioles, and then not calling.
I would love to see
on the line for
the MLB show or the umpire show Twitter on that. On his game, you know how they do the umpire show on Twitter where they show like the scorecards.
Yeah, how many runs were given to for an advantage or whatever toward the Orioles because of those calls.
One way or the other. And not to say that like the Orioles, the
Yankees didn't hit
umpiring.
The Yankees didn't hit it. It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
It just sucks when you have umpires that just don't.
Well, and especially when they're not consistent, right? Like if you're gonna not call those for Schmidt, you shouldn't be calling those for the Orioles pitcher either.
For Gibson,
but I keep forgetting his name.
Anyway, it's all right. Moving on. Speaking of players who have been struggling, one that did not play today is DJ LeMahieu. I know that he's one of your favorite guys. I was one of the guys when he was playing with the Rockies that wanted the Yankees to sign him in 2020. I was, desperate for us to re-sign him. I tweeted about this earlier because it's been a big conversation on Yankee Twitter on, is he a disappointment? Like, is the contract that he got a big disappointment? Is he, you got those guys saying that, and then you got like DJ Lay MVP on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I think up until today or up until yesterday has been 100% defending him. I think yesterday he kind of finally broke a little bit and was like, I'm a little frustrated.
Yeah,
I'm worried. So what I would say about DJ is he's 34, 35. He's older than Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
And we all talk about Stanton and his age and his regression. Sure. As he's getting into his mid-30s. And for baseball, there are players that play until they're 40. A lot of the contracts right now are suggesting that a lot of these players should still be really good into their late 30s, 40s. But DJ's play style is getting hits and getting on base. And when you get injured as much as he has in the past couple of years, add that into his age, it'd be one thing if he was healthy over the last 3 years. I think he'd be a lot better now. But when you add injury and age, like he's got to play differently. I'm sure, that comes into it. You think more about how you're playing, what you're doing. His bunt earlier in the week has not been.
Yeah, that was not a good, strange, just out of nowhere. That bunt. We ended up winning that game, so it kind of got, pushed aside a little bit, but it was very weird. We were down by 1.
He doesn't regret it at all.
Yeah, he says, we've got a runner on third, less than 1 out, or less than 3 out. Less than 3. Wow, less than 2 outs. I think we have 1 out.
I hope so.
Yeah. Runner Glaber's on third. We've 1 out. To tie the game, all we need is a sac fly, And I mean, they said that the guy was like a ground ball pitcher, and that DJ says he's afraid that he's going to hit into a double play because there was a runner on first too. And I'm like, so why are you afraid you're going to hit into a double play? Like,
and the thing, like, I would understand if he was like a career sub 200 runner in scoring position hitter.
Right. Like,
but even this season on a down year, he's still our second best player with runners in scoring position. Our number one is Bader. Yeah. Surprisingly, DJ this season has been better than Judge. He's been better than Rizzo. He's been better than Torres when it comes to runners in scoring position. So it just doesn't make sense for him to bunt in that situation. And that's kind of the caveat of, like, he's struggling this season, but I wouldn't consider him a disappointment, because when it comes to contracts, you don't make contracts based on expecting someone to be injured. You make contracts based on what was going on. And at the time, 2020, he's leading the league in hits. I think he had a 340 batting average that season. Right. I mean, I know it was a shortened 60-game season, so obviously, you get on a good streak and you're going to have a good batting average. But he just had that. I don't think he had a sub 290 batting average since his sophomore year. Second year in the league. So, of course, the contract made sense. Is it disappointing that he's had as many injuries as he's had? Yes, but I would say death taxes and running and scoring position is not a phrase that is associated with DJ LeMahieu for no reason. He gets hits when runners are in scoring position. So the bunt doesn't make sense there, but all season he's been doing good in that position.
In that scenario,
in that scenario. So I'm not as red flag, get rid of them,
I'm not get rid of him level. If so, I think I have, put myself in if they're going to trade him, I won't be sad about it territory. Like, if that
if
ends
you can
up
get
happening
something for him now.
Right. Because of his injury history, it's going to be hard to move him. I guess that's where I'm at. Like,
and he's got $15 million for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years, I think he's got $15 million on each season.
Yeah. So I think the concern is his batting average through people are saying he's fallen off, but his batting average has basically been the same this season. From the beginning of the season when everyone's he's healthy, look at how amazing he's doing. Glad to have DJ back, to May where
everyone says he's terrible now.
Right. So his batting average,
250 is low for his career, but this season it's been consistently 250.
The issue is his slug is down. Through April, slugging percentage is 443, and now it's 355, which
he's not getting as many doubles, not as many.
Right, and that's what you want from DJ are the doubles. He's pretty slow, so those are usually very good double. Those aren't squeaked out doubles. Those are.
It's not Bader doubles.
Right. So I think that's where the concern is. I think the concern is probably, is he injured again?
Especially because he had that 2 games last week where he didn't play.
Yeah,
he's not playing today.
Yeah, I left my notes in my bag from work, but I was looking at how we had the off day on the 9th. He played 4 games. Then he was sat, and then he played 6 games. And then we had an off day, I think. And then he played 4 or 5 games and then was benched. Then he played 3 games and then he was benched. Something like that. Between the off days and him getting rest, he hasn't played more than 6 games in a row in the last 2+ weeks.
Which might just be preventative because he does have those issues.
Could be. That could be.
But with his struggles with the bat, it's definitely concerning. I think that they might use Josh Donaldson's return. He just started his AAA
his rehab assignment. Yep.
if he's ready to go and DJ's still struggling, they might IL
Yeah, I could absolutely see that.
DJ to avoid sending somebody down.
I could see that.
Which sucks. But yeah, he's just struggling. Another person who's struggling and talking about moving people when people come back. Stanton is also on his way back. So whether or not DJ is put on the IL, somebody else is there's gonna need to be a move made with somebody else. I know a lot of that question is it going to be Waldo or is it going to be Bowers or Calhoun? Bowers, Calhoun don't have options, I believe, so they would have to be DFA'd. Waldo does have options. I mean, at the beginning of the season, throughout the first month, I would have said it would be absolutely awful to send him down. But he's not hitting either. Like he grounded, I think, into a double play today when we needed him. We had gotten a hit and
needed him to come through, and it's been it's kind of been like that a bit. He's kind of a sure out right now. Unfortunately, his defense has still remained good. He still keeps his head up. So I don't think that's a death sentence for Waldo to be sent down. It's probably the best because the most likely because they're really in on Bowers. Michael Kay says it all the damn time, no matter how much, he's not hitting and not playing the field very well.
And I don't think they want to risk DFAing
because they know someone's going to pick him up. Right. We need as much outfield depth as we can have. And maybe sending Waldo down to AAA will help him figure out what's going wrong. Yeah, get his swing back,
Because he was having good success last year during AAA. He came up. I think he struggled initially, but by the end of September, he was hitting pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why he was opening day left fielder because he does have talent. So, I mean, he's just not been what he was earlier.
Right. So, I hope he wouldn't take that as something bad, and hopefully there is room to call him back up later, or who knows. But right now he's just kind of the weakest link. I mean, DFAing Hicks kind of highlights other areas where we're struggling.
Right.
Side note, IKF had great games the last couple of games, and then they bench him today, which is I just those are the kind of decisions that Boone makes that are just tear your hair out, annoying.
Yeah.
So
he's never made good lineup cards. He's never made good bullpen decisions for the most part. So
I don't know how a guy who is he's a baseball guy, his grandfather, his father, his brother, they play baseball. He's been on a baseball field his entire life, and not just baseball, Major League Baseball. And he has no feel for the game, I guess. He doesn't see when he shouldn't trust analytics, and it's just always this is the matchup I like, but Bowers sucks right now, or an IKF just hit a home run and a triple yesterday. Why don't we take advantage of him being hot and we, I don't know. Anyway, so those are a couple of struggles.
And last comment of the opposite, and someone who's on fire right now, who we ironically DFA'd earlier this year. Florial hit a grand slam earlier today.
Did he?
I think it's his 7th home run in 8 games.
Yeah, I know people want to call Florial up because he's been so hot lately, but in order to do that,
someone has to get DFA'd off the 40-man.
And then you're probably going to, you're taking the chance of Florial not doing well up in the majors and then DFAing him again.
He's never proven himself to be an MLB player. So for people to be I've seen it on somebody said it today that Cashman just hates Florial. We've been giving Florial so many chances throughout his career. He just hasn't been able to hit MLB level. We just DFA'd him.
And no MLB team picked him up.
No MLB team picked him up. So I don't see how this is a Cashman hates him kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just he's really good in AAA, and he has yet to prove it in MLB.
Right,
I don't
that
see
gap,
him getting
yeah.
brought back unless there's a 60-day DL issue with a 40-man
Yeah, I agree.
roster spot. All right. Well, I think we talked about as much as we can about this series without, getting too more down in the dumps about the loss.
Yeah, the Yankees are firmly in third place. Bless you. After this series, unfortunately, they dropped a game back. They were 3 games behind Baltimore. Now they're 4 games behind Baltimore and 7 games behind
7
Tampa.
behind Tampa. Yeah.
So,
with that, we can just talk about the power rankings with how
Ryan's power
that do.
Ryan's MLB Power Rankings.
All right. Well, making their jump back in. So 2 weeks ago, they were my number 10. Then last week, they fall 5 spots. Now this week, they move back up 5 spots. They are my biggest risers as well. This week is the Los Angeles Angels. I believe they were 5-1 this week. I think they were last week. They were 23-22. Now they're 28-23. Quietly really good week because I don't think a lot of people are talking about how well they've been playing.
Who did they play this week?
That is a good question. I should have known that before I moved them up, but
my bad.
I thought that they played Boston. So, easy team to beat there. They swept Boston. And they were 2-1 against Minnesota. And they won. It's while they split the series against Baltimore, but in this week of power rankings, they had 1 win against Baltimore.
Gotcha.
So actually, they are 6-1 in the week of the power rankings. So, I guess today wouldn't have kind of counted. So I was right. 5-1 for. I do not count today's games into
Thursday.
These were made in the morning.
Yeah.
So yes, I was right. 5-1 over the time. So this morning they were 28-23. They moved back into that top 10.
Yeah, the only thing I saw about the Angels this week is that Trout passed DiMaggio on all-time home run list.
He's a career great. So it just sucks that he gets wasted in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This year they're playing good. Maybe they'll actually continue to play good. We talked about last week that the Angels 2 years ago or last year, they started off really hot. I think they were one of the top 3 teams record wise in the league. And then they lost almost 20 straight games. Hopefully, just because you would want to see Shohei and Trout make it to the playoffs, just for that type of TV, you want to see those guys in October. But yeah, they're my number 10 team. Milwaukee drops 2 spots to number 9. They're 27-22. I think they had an even week, 3-3. They're just other teams right now that are playing better in the top 10. They're just their hitting is on and off. I believe Yelich has not been. He looked not the Yelich of MVP old, but better to start the season. Now he's kind of cooled off. Kind of similar to how McCutchen started off really hot when he returned to Pittsburgh, but he's fallen off a bit since. But the Brewers are still, I believe, one of the top teams, if not the top team in their division in the West. I believe they are the top team in the Central. NL. So they are number 9. Arizona moves back up 2 spots. They were 10. Now they're number 8. They are closing in on Los Angeles for the West. Not something that I would have expected early in the season. They do have a young team, kind of similar to Baltimore. not as consistent as Baltimore. They're a bit more streaky where they win a lot of games in succession and then they lose a lot of games in succession. So, but they've obviously been winning more than they've been losing more. So, Arizona's been playing well ever since they got rid of Madison Bumgarner, ever since they got rid of, sorry, my cat is getting that little bell. He's got the zoomies and he keeps hitting his toy and then running around.
Oh,
sorry.
the cat's making an appearance on the pod today,
yes.
apparently. Or at least noise instead of an appearance.
Yeah. So if you hear that bell ringing, that's him having a fun time. So anyway, the Diamondbacks, ever since they got rid of the dead weight of Madison Bumgarner, have been playing very well. Speaking about a team that's been gotten rid of, wow, that was a hard sentence to say, has gotten rid of their dead weight and played well is New York Yankees, getting rid of Aaron Hicks. They're now my number 7 team. Again, this was not done until this morning, but I would probably keep them at number 7 just between Arizona. I mean, they're kind of flip them either way, but the Yankees have moved up to number 7. They're 30-21 as of this morning, now 30-22. Like you said, 3rd place in the East. This would be against 1st or 2nd in any other division in MLB, but we are in the East, so we just kind of have to deal with that. We are one of the wild card teams as of right now. So the Yankees have had a good week despite losing this series. Houston stays at number 6. The top 5 teams are just too good right now, and Houston hasn't proven that they're back into that category. Unlike MLB and ESPN when they do their power rankings, who I think still put Houston at number 4, Houston has not proven that their pitching rotation can handle being consistent, kind of similar to the Yankees where they're not consistent. They have good hitting, but their rotation is not as consistent as the top 5 teams here. I mean, I feel like there is a gap between 5 and 6. So number 5 is the Atlanta Braves. They have not had the best week. They fall down a spot, but again, the top 4 teams have been really good. But Atlanta is still really good. They're still one of the best hitting teams in the National League, if not the best in the National League. So they're number 5. Number 4, we just talked about with Arizona, but the Los Angeles Dodgers have moved down to number 4. They did not have a bad week, but again, the top 3 teams had great weeks. So nothing really that the Dodgers have done wrong, just Texas has had a really great week. Again, Eovaldi, DeGrom, they're pitching really well. I mean, Eovaldi has been a Cy Young candidate, and unlike Cole for our team, Eovaldi's been keeping up the pace with that.
Off.
So hasn't fallen off.
I wouldn't say Cole has fallen off, but he's struggled. Sorry.
He's not fallen off, but he's struggling. Yeah.
I didn't want
Eovaldi has kept up his pace.
Yeah.
So the Rangers move up 2 spots to number 3. They've been playing really well. They are leading the AL West better than the Astros this season. And honestly, they've put it together offensively. I know we talked at the beginning of the season that the Astros are the team to beat. So far, they haven't been this season, but I think that the Rangers have the capability of going the full season and winning their division. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities just with how Simeon has been playing. Seager has been playing well since he's returned from injury. If he stays healthy, I mean, it's a deep lineup that they have there. Josh Jung, rookie, he's been playing really well. They got a good roster. Garcia's AL home run leader. Who's not as I think you mentioned, he's not on the MLB's
power hitters.
Power hitter rankings.
Yeah, not a top 10 somehow, but yeah. Anyway,
somehow, but He's he's the best home run hitter in the AL this season. The Rangers have a really good roster, and their pitching rotation has put them over the edge of being a really good team. So they are number 3. Baltimore, we've been talking about.
I was going to say, it looks like they play Baltimore next, so that's interesting. Texas.
Oh, it's going to be a good game. Yeah. It's going to be a good series. So the team that they're playing, Baltimore Orioles, are now number 2. MLB still has them. I think I don't know if I said it during this time, but the MLB still has them as 5 or 6 each week, or ESPN has them as 5 or 6 each week.
Second best.
I think that
baseball.
When it comes to the Orioles, I think people are still waiting for the Orioles to be the Orioles. Like past few years, they've been really bad. Last year, they were better than the Red Sox in our division, but typically they are the last place team in our division. And so I think teams are just expecting that to fall. It could happen. I mean, they are a young team. At injury or something, they're not as experienced as some of the other teams on this list, but
I think you would.
They have been a very consistent team this season.
Yeah, I think most people would have thought by now you would have seen they would have been exposed.
That fall off,
like the Rays kind of have been
Pittsburgh
exposed
Pirates,
a little
I think, in
bit,
the first week.
Or better example, the Pirates. Yeah.
Pirates started off as one of the hottest teams to start the season. So did the Cubs, and they're now in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Baltimore has not fallen off. They started off the season kind of like 500, maybe a little bit below. We beat them in the early series.
Yeah.
So I think right now the Baltimore series is split 3-3. Right. But since then, Baltimore has not had a losing streaks that are like more than 1 or 2 or maybe tops 3 games. They've been winning a lot more than they've been losing all season. I would say that they're the hottest team in baseball at the moment because the number 1 team, I do have Tampa Bay Rays. They've won 3 straight games now. But over the last 20, I think that they're right around 500. As you said, they've kind of been exposed lately as a team that's not as dominant. I mean, you're never going to continue to win
20-1 to
20-1
to the Blue Jays.
I mean, it should have been 10-1, but the Blue Jays decided to put their pedal to the metal against
position players. Yeah,
position players who just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that, you intentionally strike out, but the way Vladdy goes up in that inning, looking like he's wanting, I mean, they're taking pitches, they're hitting balls as hard as they can. I'm not saying that
but you don't stop trying.
You can't try to, you don't stop trying, but to try intentionally to hit the ball 500 feet just because you can against a position player, especially with the amount of talking that your team has been doing.
Yeah.
It just looks like you're trying to stat pad for yourself, especially because you've been struggling over the last bit. I've heard that he was mad because he struck out against the position pitcher in the previous inning, so he wanted to prove that
he could,
show it. He could hit him.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I guess the Toronto Blue Jays just pissed me off enough that. All right. Anyway, moving on from that though, Tampa Bay stays number 1. Just because again they've been so good all season that even a little bit of a 6-4, 5-5 streaks in the last 10 games doesn't do enough to drop them just yet, but they're getting close. I'd say that this is the first week in the past couple weeks that I felt that it would be. I think if Baltimore swept the Yankees, Baltimore would be number 1 right now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Bottom 5, just to go through them real. Oh, sorry.
I do think that Tampa. Didn't I see they have one of the hardest schedules for the rest of the season? They've had one of the easiest schedules up till now, and then top 10 hardest schedules going forward. So we'll see.
We'll see if they keep it up.
Yeah.
So Real quick, bottom 5. Washington Nationals move up 1. But that's because some of these teams have been pretty bad. Cincinnati Reds fall 3 spots. They are number 27. Colorado Rockies fall down 2 spots. But honestly, I think 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, they're all right around that same record. Yeah. It's just kind of like who's hot at the moment. And the 2 teams, I don't have it in front of me who the 25 and 24 are, but those teams were slightly more hot, I guess.
Right.
Slightly less cold.
A little more momentum. Yes.
Than the others.
Yeah.
But these bottom 2 teams, I think they're going to be the bottom 2 teams for as long as we're doing this. Kansas City Royals are 15 and 36. They've had, I think, 1 win this week, and that's only beaten as far as how terrible it is by the Oakland Athletics, who are 0-7 in this past week.
Oh my God! What
they
did
made
I
it to 10 wins and decided to stop there.
I think I saw. Okay, yeah. Now Abby, our dog, is trying to get in on the, get her voice heard on the pod too.
They're both up my ass right now.
And Ginny, so our dogs and our cats all want to be heard tonight. What I saw somebody post, Boone's been ejected 4 times, and the A's, like the most winningest pitcher, I guess, on the A's has 2 wins. 4 ejections for Boone, 2 wins for the A's. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. Like,
yeah, it's
they're bad.
Weird how bad the Athletics are. I mean, we know that the organization wants to lose because they want to get over to Las Vegas. They don't really care about winning games. They're trying to make it so that fans don't want to go. But it's just getting pathetic, which is how sad. Bad it is over there.
Yeah.
They are literally fielding. We joked, but we were frustrated with the Yankees fielding a AAA team. The Angels, not the Angels, the Athletics literally have a AAA team on their roster. I mean, they have, I think, 2 of their starting pitchers are guys who couldn't even cut it in our AAA.
Right. Yeah.
So not very good, but I mean, that's kind of around the league. Cardinals have been back on fire. They've been hitting pretty well outside of just what we just talked about with the power rankings. So just a couple of things around the league. That's what I saw. Yeah. Chicago White Sox are starting to figure out a little bit.
Clint Frazier had like a couple stolen bases.
Played with the Rangers, right?
No, I thought he was on the White Sox. Did he move around again? I know he's moved around quite a bit in the last he was DFA'd by the Cubs, and then I thought I saw he was with the White Sox, but I don't remember. If he does well somewhere, good for him.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you're right. Chicago White Sox. I don't know why I thought Texas Rangers, but yes. So I guess he had a good game the other day.
Yeah, maybe he's helped sparking the White Sox to do a little bit better. They were supposed to be one of the best teams this year, and they are not so far. Not to be petty and bring up the Toronto Blue Jays again, but I did see that they had to have a team meeting because they are doing so poorly, despite, their 1 game beating Tampa 20-1. The rest of the week was pretty awful for them. They went 2-8 in the last 10 days, and they are in last place. So,
and the Rangers the Rays punished them for
the next 2 games. Yeah.
I mean, just it again. I thought it was pathetic. Some Blue Jays fans would say that we're just being we're hating on them, and that if the Yankees did it, we would be celebrating. I think I've seen Stanton. I've seen some other guys hit home runs against position players, and yes, it's slightly stat padding, but I never really felt like they were going out there. They definitely didn't pimp the home runs and watch it off the bat, like they hit the home run and did their job. Again, you're not going to stop trying, but
No,
the way they did it was bad.
What was the last one that I remember? Higgy hit like a home run off of a position. It was like the slowest pitch ever hit for a home run, like 48 miles an hour, something crazy. And like they're like, no, but yeah, it was just like, okay, I hit it. I'm going to go around the bases and like,
again,
there's no
don't
celebrating
stop
about it.
To hit, you're not intentionally going out there to strike out, but to score 10 runs on position players in one
congratulations,
inning,
guys.
And the Rays won the series, so great. Good job on a 20-1 win. I guess.
We talked about last week, they have been seriously unfocused. Seriously, just they haven't been playing good baseball.
Talking more than they are
talking
playing.
Trash and not showing up to back it up. And they had a team meeting and hope I guess they hope that things get back on track. But I saw somebody also write and completely agree with it. It was like the Blue Jays think, or they talk like they're the Orioles. Like the way they talk is like but the Orioles actually do it, and they don't talk about it.
Right.
Like
I mean, the Orioles even got us yesterday.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Like
the Taylor Swift thing. Like we're up, however many runs it was, and
6-1, and we're saying,
and they're like
the player's going to play.
Yeah, and then the Orioles come back after they win. The haters gonna hate. Yeah, I was like, all right. I mean, that was good job, social media teams. That was good. So. But yeah, speaking of the Taylor Swift thing, when they had that video of their favorite songs, Trevino said something. I forget what song he said. Oh, he said, "I don't know, but we'll find out this weekend." And
he's going to the
concert. I wonder if multiple of them are. We'll see a picture of of
them
Yankees guys behind the scenes or We'll see. I just thought that was a little bit funny.
And doesn't Trevino have a little girl or a little?
He's a little boy. I mean, maybe he had. I know he has a little boy at least, and his favorite player is Aaron Judge. It's very cute.
No.
All right. Well, I've got a player for you if you're ready for that.
Let's do
it. We've been doing the Name That Yankee. We're both 0-1 on this.
All right, hold on, let me get this sting. Let me get the sting going for that.
Who's that Yankee?
Who's that Yankee?
Who's that Yankee? Okay, so we've got. All right, so started in 2005 with the Yankees, played until 2009 with the Yankees, didn't play in 2010, and then 2011 Washington, and then Washington 2012. In Toronto in 2013, and then didn't play until 2016. He was with the Kansas City Royals. Okay, so this is a pitcher. Let's see. A starting pitcher.
I've got a fun hint for you, but I'll wait to see if you can get it without it.
Gosh, I feel like this is like prime. Like Megan's obsessed with the Yankees and watches all the time. So let's see. It went 19-6 pitching in 2006 and 19-7 pitching in 2007. Washington, Toronto. What's your hint?
All right, my hint is if this player played with today's rules in MLB, he might have had a much longer career with us. It's a little bit of a cryptic hint, but
It's a thinker.
This is one that you're going to be mad if you don't get. I try to get you one that you should be able to.
I know who it is. Jeez.
Oh, you shut up. You have the advantage of Ryan telling you who it is.
Nope, I knew it already.
You knew it? You guessed it?
Yep.
You weren't watching the Yankees in 2006.
What I was impressed with this is a little off track as you're thinking about it. I did not realize how much his strikeout numbers went up from 2006 to 2007. And those strikeout numbers are very low for a decent pitcher, Like, he didn't crack 100 in 2006. And what it doesn't show here, he was a Cy Young candidate.
2007?
2006.
2006, he was Cy Young candidate. Okay.
I think he was second in voting.
Really? I'm going to be so mad. Why can't I think of this?
It is a male baseball player.
Oh, is it? Oh, yep. Thank you so much. That helps me. It helps so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful for that.
I can give you one more hint.
I would like
if you want. It kind of explains my last hint. The reason that he didn't play in 2010 was because of a National League game.
Oh, this is Ching-Ming Wong.
No. Yay!
So I knew if I went too far with that hint, you would get it. But there we go.
Thank you. Yes. I appreciate the easy hint.
I felt like we needed a win with that one. I feel like the last two, we have not been able to show that we're...
I'm just so bad at seeing like the numbers and trying to weed through in my head who was on the team that year. And yeah, but that got it right away. Oh my God. That was, what a sad end to his career. I guess it didn't end his career, but just, for the Yankees, he was amazing. Finished second in Cy Young one of the years. And he was just like, he was going to be our ace, or he was just number two. He was
our ace for a couple of years.
Yeah. He was, I remember loving him. And then, we're playing interleague play. He gets on base and he like rounds third base or comes into third base weird, screws up his foot. And then is like, I think he breaks his foot. Yeah. And it was just a run. He was just running, or maybe he was running into home. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what base he hurt himself on, but broke his foot, broke the bones on the top of his foot somehow, and then it was his planting foot when he pitched, and so he never pitched right again after. Yeah. It was just
if you're
so
a new
sad.
fan and wondering why a pitcher was on base, why I said today's rules would mean that he would pitch longer.
That makes sense now.
Is because,
I was thinking pitch clock and but
that was when I was thinking about that hint. I was like, I feel like she might be thinking about pitch clock and the other rules changes this year. But 2 years ago, the MLB decided to get rid of the
DH
only on the AL side. So they do a universal DH. They got rid of pitchers hitting in the NL.
Yeah.
Mainly because it was stupid.
It was really stupid. It was always an automatic out, and
until Shohei recently, the only one.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing for what Shohei is doing. That's why he's amazing.
Yeah, I think there was only a few. It was always fun when you saw a pitcher hit a home run. There was the pitchers who rake trend back then. I think Cole.
I was going to say Cole has some home runs, right? What is it?
I think he's got 5 or 6.
Or 5. He made a joke.
Career.
Who hit a home run? Was it IKF? He made a joke about somebody now he has more home runs than I do, and maybe it was Volpe. Maybe it was Volpe. Actually,
it could be, yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure Cole has 6 runs, career, and he had several of them in one season, and it was he was one of those pitchers who can rake.
Nice, what Bartolo Colon too, right, or something, or who am I thinking of?
Bartolo Colon, he's not a pitcher who rakes often, but that one big one he had, he was in San Diego. He hit it off the top of the San Diego's left field has this industrial building.
Yeah.
Like on it. It was an actual building. It's now decommissioned, and now it's just part of
the stadium.
The Petco Park Stadium. But he hit it like off like the third level or fourth level of that
huge
building.
So he raked once.
But yeah, I mean, I think Madison Bumgarner before, he was terrible. He only has 3 career home runs. I was under the impression he had more that season, but
gotcha.
I know Madison Bumgarner would hit home runs. He was one of the ones who didn't want the universal DH to happen just because he liked hitting the occasional home run. But
right.
I don't think anybody's
it's so
too
occasional.
disappointed.
Yeah. And I think it makes the game much better to have a DH.
And just the 9th spot was always in the NL was always guaranteed out. And then when AL pitchers had to go over there, like this Chi-Mei Wong thing, who are not used to having to hit, they were even more guaranteed outs because I think like most of the time the pitchers weren't even trying. They were just
they would try to like bunt. Like
they bunt.
A lot of like more than half the time it was like, let me just try to bunt because that's the best I'm going to be able to do to make contact. I mean, hitting is really hard.
before Trevor Bauer was too much of a problem.
Douche.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was always a douche, but he didn't have the legal issues at the time. When he was playing for Cleveland, like he got some love because he was the guy who would like go up in the interleague games and pretend to be one of his teammates. Like he would mimic their batting stance, like he would do Ian Kinsler. I think I can't remember all the guys that were on the team, but like he would mimic their batting stances.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, thank you for the hint so that I could get a point. It was a very good hint.
I expect if I'm struggling,
I'll give you a pretty good hint. Yes. Better than likes to open cards on YouTube, I guess.
It's all right. I had no idea that he was on YouTube doing that.
Yeah, I saw it like a couple of times. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
and you know what's frustrating is that Phil Hughes was such an easy get that I was mad that I didn't get him.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Well, at first I was like, is this Jabba Chamberlain? And I was like, no, he went not.
I was so close to picking Jabba Chamberlain.
Oh, nice. I was also close to picking Jabba Chamberlain last week. And I was like, no, too easy.
That's kind of what I thought. I was like, I want to go easy with Jabba Chamberlain. I wanted to go something that wasn't. I didn't want to go something that was easy, but something that you could get that would be a cool callback, especially because I think we were just recently talking about Chi-Mei Wong on a previous either a pre-podcast conversation or something.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it actually came up. But
we got one finally. So.
Yes.
Anyway, moving back, the Yankees play the Padres coming up, so hopefully the lost series to the Orioles does not ruin the vibes and the momentum that we had previously, especially because the Padres haven't been good. I did not see what they did against the Nationals.
Let me see. I have it up. Oops. Well, I had it up, and then I clicked something, and my computer's slow.
I think I can get it.
Computer is freaking out. It's not happy with me.
They won the series 2-1. But I mean, it is Washington. They weren't incredibly they didn't dominate Washington like we dominated Oakland. But hopefully we go in there and the Padres don't figure themselves out just against the Yankees.
Just for us, yeah. We got the opener tomorrow, and then I think Severino's going Saturday and Cole Sunday. Is that right?
Sounds right. And as we talked about before, Vasquez gets to start tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, whether he is the opener or they use like Cordero again, like they did last time, and then put him in
It
the
was supposed
second.
to be, yeah.
Or...
Yeah, Vasquez is starting the game tomorrow.
Oh, he's actually starting it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that'll
Tomorrow
be fun to watch.
Vasquez versus Musgrove. Musgrove
Oh,
has been
yeah.
pretty bad all season.
Yeah, he has. I'm just seeing his ERA, 6.75. Jeez.
Sevy versus Wacha, which he's been their best guy this season.
Okay, yeah, I see. 5-1,
and then
3.58.
Cole and Darvish.
Darvish hasn't been doing so hot.
He's been okay.
He's been okay, just not
as his contract
right
says
not
he
what
should
they
be.
wanted.
But I thought that was a dumb contract from the Padres. He's not. I mean, I think he's in his he's over 35, and they still gave him like a multi-year deal. But I did see an interesting thing with you, Darvish, just to kind of end it off on the
he's older than me.
Conversation. Did you know he throws 11 pitches?
No.
And 7 of them consistently. Like he can throw 11 pitches, but in a game he will consistently throw typically up to 7 pitches.
That's insane.
Or at least 7 pitches.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he throws pretty much every fastball you can do, 2-seam, 4-seam, cutter. He has a sinker, a curveball, a slider, and I believe a slurve.
Slurve. Is that like a sweeper? Or is that different?
Slurve is a sliding curve.
Got it. That's pretty cool. I mean,
and he has a changeup, so I mean that's 8. So I might be wrong on which of those he's got, but
yeah,
he throws all those.
He is 37, or he will be 37 this year. Yeah.
So.
Anyway, yeah.
Still impressive that he can.
Yeah.
Throw all that.
Especially, yeah. I mean, still a very good pitcher, and so the series should be a fun one. Anyway, lots of stars.
Yes.
So hopefully the Yankees the offense can wake up and get some hits. We are playing in Yankee Stadium, so should be a good game, I hope, and that we can take at least 2 of 3 and get back on track to winning some games.
Yes, and hopefully, the Orioles and the
we're going to
Rangers beat up on each other a little bit.
Little Texas, yeah.
Is it a 3 or 4?
I think it's a 3-game series. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Texas takes it 2-1.
Yeah. We'll root for Texas for most of those games. So, all right. We will see how it all shakes out over the weekend, and we will come back, I think in a couple of series. We'll come back after the Seattle series, I think we decided. So,
yes.
That's who they play after the Padres. So, that's how it'll shake out, and hopefully we'll have a majority wins when we come back.
Yeah.
And
it would be nice.
Yes. All right.
Well, everybody have a good and safe and fun Memorial Day.
Yes.
And,
follow us and stuff.
Oh yeah, sorry, I see you. Yeah. I apologize. I'm trying to get. It's like late.
It's really late. We're a little delirious right now.
Yes, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Yanks. At Damn Yanks _pod. And then at Damn Yanks pod on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the Spotify. It's almost midnight.
Words are hard really late at night. So. All right.
Thank you to all the people listening. Mom, Aaron, Bellflowers.
All of our friends.
Our usuals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yes. So
until next time.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.